And welcome back, everybody. This is the Galactic Explorers Podcast. This is episode 29. And I am your host, Ash. And we are joined today by my fellow co-host, Jeff.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. Happy to be back on here after our 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a good chunk of stuff happened in between that. So,
yeah.
A lot of patches.
A lot of crashes, a lot of, I think, a lot of meh happened in between.
Yeah, especially just me today. So this is fresh in my mind right now. So.
Yeah, and for me. So, a little bit of housekeeping before we start, obviously. Don't forget, we are on iTunes. The link for that will be down in the description below. If you can leave a review and a like. I want to call them likes, but I don't think they are called likes. I will definitely find out what they are called.
I think it's just reviews.
Is it just reviews?
Yeah, so it's like stars or whatever. So you have a 4-star review or something like that or whatever.
Yeah. So make sure you do check it out. I have on the whole podcast provider. I have had a look on Play on the Android store one, and for some reason it doesn't seem to allow me to be able to upload a podcast from the UK yet to that site. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong yet or what. So I don't know if they're implementing something new. But as soon as obviously I'm able to do that, it will be on the Play Store. Also, we have a Discord channel. The link for that will also be down in the description below. We need you guys to join that. Obviously, we'll be there talking about all things No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I joined it.
Yeah, I know. I saw you, dude. I saw you. So yeah. Also, if you are enjoying this video, please leave a like and possibly even maybe subscribe to the channel. You know, you'll get the new podcast when they do come out. I know it's a little bit hit and miss at the moment, but family life comes first, guys.
Oh yeah,
indeed. And if you have any comments, make sure you leave them down below in that section known as the comment section. If it wasn't
notorious
obvious
comment section.
The notorious comment section. So yes, let's get on to our first topic, which is about the mass influx of these updates that have been released since Atlas Risers was dropped, which was 2 weeks ago now, or was it 3? It was 3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 weeks sounds just about right.
3 or 4 weeks, and we've had 5 patches since then. So that's just over, or just under a patch a week, which is incredible.
Yeah,
considering we didn't see any updates or anything really from Hello Games for 6 months.
Yeah, it's really surprising how quick they're getting these patches out. So It either shows that they're really following the community as far as the Reddit page for following the bug fix, page or whatever they have on there, or it's just they knew that they were there and they just couldn't fix them in time, or it's one or the other. So,
see, it's kind of weird. I mean, it's never good when you've got this. You've had to release this many patches.
Yeah.
For an update this quickly. I mean, if it was over the space of a year, if you release 5 patches over a space of a year for one update, then maybe. But
I'm trying to think back to even like Pathfinder or Foundation. Like there was nowhere near as many bug fix patches.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's really crazy. Like, I mean, cool. Like, on top of the bug fixes, they're also adding in extra, like, new features, like little features and stuff. So, like, that's cool. I mean, I'll take that. But I mean, just the fact that there's this many bugs it's kind of like just eye opening a little bit, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit weird that they could have extended the whole Waking Titan thing, because the first part of Waking Titan obviously went on for nearly 2 months, and then the last 2 parts were was it for 3 weeks and then 1 week?
That's hard though, man. Because dude, look what's right around the corner. Coming out next week, Destiny 2.
Yeah, I suppose.
The later they release Atlas Rising, the less audience they were going to have. I mean, this gave people a good solid 3 or 4 weeks of gameplay to play the game and get their thoughts about it.
Yeah.
And whatever. If they would have released it like a week before dude, people are getting ready to play Destiny 2 right now. Like they're doing.
Well, they've got
stuff
the bases,
on
haven't
Destiny.
they, and stuff already? So.
I mean, it's happening. Even though it's next week, it's already in full swing. So I mean, the people's attention is going to be drawn towards that. I mean, over No Man's Sky, I hate to say, but
yeah, I mean that is true. But then again, I mean, if it is a week out now, but they're still adding these patches even now to this point, then obviously it wasn't ready. It wouldn't have been ready even to this day, really, if they're still having to add patches now. So, but I mean, releasing a patch any time of this, like at any point at this time of year is hard because all the games come out by November usually, ready for the holiday period.
I mean, what else is really getting ready to come out this year? I mean, you have probably the new Call of Duty comes out soon.
Assassin's Creed, all your EA games.
Is that really this year or?
Yeah, it's this year. This October.
Okay.
27th, I want to say. And so yeah, that comes out in October. Then you got like FIFA, what comes out as well. Obviously, Destiny 2, Call of Duty.
Gran Turismo comes out.
Gran Turismo, Forza. I think Forza was release game for the Xbox One X. You got other things. So you like WWE comes out as well later this. Honestly, this month or next month again. What else have we got? Even the Switch games, so like Mario Odyssey comes out at the end of this year as well, which will be a massive hit.
Oh my gosh!
Mario and Rabbids, which is supposedly quite good as well. I think it's been getting like between 7 and 8.5s.
Yeah, I hear about it all day long at work from this guy I work with.
I mean, just there, that's 8 games coming out towards the end of this year. Let alone, obviously, all the other EA games that get brought out, like Madden, NHL, NBA 2K and stuff. So...
Oh, just a side note on that. I haven't played NBA 2K in the longest time, and I just stumbled upon some gameplay of that game, just like a recent version. It looks really realistic. Like I was blown away about how realistic that game looked. I was like, wow.
I think last year, does 2K do like I know 2K does the NBA, don't they? And do they do the NHL one as well, or is that EA?
That's EA.
I think last year's version looked incredible. Like the players looked like real. It was crazy. But I think because they're with obviously like the NBA and like like the NHL, they tend to be that they're smaller games compared to like FIFA, whereas like the basketball and obviously the hockey are more localized to America and Canada or whatever. Whereas obviously like FIFA is all other countries as well, so it's not quite to that point with FIFA yet. But yeah, so obviously with these updates for No Man's Sky, I mean, yeah, it's good that they're getting them. I mean, also don't get me wrong, all these updates aren't just bug fixes. All these patches, they are adding actual content as well.
Oh no, you're 100% right.
I mean, you think like 5 patches in 5 weeks or whatever it's been. It's stupid. It shouldn't be that bad. But they are adding like little things, so like where you're able to make multiple versions of recipes. Mm-hmm. So you're not just making one, then having to go through the same process again. You just you hover over the item, press square, and it makes it again if you've got the materials and stuff. So yeah, it's not just like bug fixes. They are actually obviously adding.
I know one thing I really enjoyed about 1.5 was they fixed the ship handling. I don't know if you played around like 1.33 or 1.34, somewhere around there, but they did something in one of those patches that made the ship handling like horrible.
Yeah,
like it was really hard to maneuver on
I remember
all ships.
Last
across
podcast
the board.
I mentioned this, I think, to you Like you go into the thrust, like you go into like the thruster mode, pressing circle, and you just couldn't turn for anything, and then it was just awful.
Yeah, it was really bad. But they fixed it with this one, and they added so each ship class has its own like maneuverability characteristic and stuff. Like that's great. Like that's really really good. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's got its negatives. I mean, when you say it like, oh, they've had to bring out like 5 patches in the last 4 or 5 weeks, it's not good. But then they are working on it. It shows that they are listening. They're working hard on obviously fixing all the bugs issues. But then they are also listening to people saying, oh, why don't you add a functionality where we can make several of the same recipe, or what was the other one where you could switch between buying and selling in the market without having to come out of the menu.
Yeah, that's huge. That's something so simple that I'm surprised it took them that long to just fix that. I
still think they need to sort out selling between ship and your person, though. I'm not gonna lie, I hate the menu systems in No Man's Sky. I hate them.
Yeah.
I hated the fact that when the game first came out, I love the fact that you could just hold down square and then just go over each thing to sell it. Whereas now you can't do that. You got to hold square, hold it down, sell that one thing, go on to the next one, then hold it down again. It was the same with the uploading thing. So if you wanted to upload data about something, you could just hold square and just go from one to the next to the next to the next, not letting go of the square button.
I'm waiting for them to put an option in so that, like, when you're trying to craft warp cells, like, instead of if you have enough material to craft all the materials needed to craft the warp cell, I wish they'd just let you just click on the warp cell and just craft it all in one shot. Instead of having to make the suspension fluid and then the antimatter and then, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have all those materials needed to make all the things to make
like a chain. Cell,
like a chain. Like, just let us do the finished product.
Yeah.
Like, don't
combo.
Like, don't make us like have to make like 4 or 5 different
tedious.
Things. Exactly. It would save so much. It would save so much time, especially when you're trying to like just quick warp to the center or warp to a location, having to stop to make all those things. Like, it's such a pain.
I'm also I don't know what it is, but I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the new slots on like the ship and the gun and yourself. I'm not sure if I'm a new fan of that yet. I mean, I admitted I haven't really been using it. I've only used one of the it's not the technology one, it's the cargo one on your suit, just to stick my version 1 pass in there. So it's not taking up a spot in my normal slots, but it seems like an awful lot because finding the drop pods is a lot harder now anyway.
Yeah.
So if you started a fresh game and trying to fill up your slots, it's gonna. I mean, how many slots is maximum? Is it 32?
It's 48 for just your suit.
Yeah, it's 48 just for your suit, and that's just for the normal section. Never mind.
Right.
Upgrades to the cargo and the technology areas.
I don't know what the total is for those yet. So
another thing with it. I'm a bit annoyed at is with the technology section. Why would all your like normal technology stuff be installed in the normal bit and not installed into the technology section instead?
Yeah, it is weird, I guess. I mean,
because obviously you can chain your stuff together, can't you? So obviously, like in your multi-tool, when you got like all the mining upgrades, you can chain them together so they get like the green boxes around them.
Yes.
Obviously, what's the point? Obviously, installing them into the normal areas when you've got a technology thing. So if you put all your upgrades into the technology thing, you'll get the chain for those. But the original technology that's installed, which you can't move around, you can't build it again.
Oh, you mean for like your shield or your Well, I mean that yeah, I get, but there's a lot of like new weaponry like technology that doesn't need doesn't have a prerequisite or like a stable or a main one, so you can put those. That's what those technology slots are good for. The ones you add the technology and then you can branch off of it and just keep it in there and stuff. Like, dude, honestly, like after you get a freighter, you don't even need the warp drive upgrades on your ship.
Just land on your freighter.
Yeah, I mean, so you can free up 3 slots just right there. So you'll need them for like your pulse jet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, other than that, I mean, you can kind of really, you're right. You can't delete the mining laser, but I think you can delete the photon cannon.
Yeah,
I can't remember one of those two you can delete and one of them you can't. I can't remember, but yeah.
So see, I'd prefer it if it was that way. What I said, like if you start a new game and then all the because it would seem to me like it's an engine bay, or like whatever you'd say in a spaceship, engineering section, and all the technology upgrades will be in a separate area, and then your cargo bay will obviously where all your cargo is on your ship, which would make more sense to me that way.
Isn't that pretty much how like Elite does it? I think kind of like that.
Yeah, your weapons are separated with your other main systems, and then you got a separate menu for like where all your cargo is. I mean, it does make sense, doesn't it? You don't want obviously to have to try and read what's on your screen between what cargo you've got and what weaponry you got when it's all mixed together.
But Elite doesn't do it. So if you group all those things together, you get bonuses out of it. See, that's the thing. Like the fact that you can, if you can group all those things together to get bonuses, it kind of does screw you up in the end if you want to put it somewhere else or whatever.
Yeah. But on Elite though, you can add extra power to certain areas, so you can add extra power to weaponry.
Yeah, it's true.
You got like I think it's like 7 or. Is it 6 or is it 7? It's one of the two, and usually when you first start the game, you got 2 bars on engines, 2 bars on weapons, and 2 bars on systems. So if you decided to put more power into weapons, 1 bar or half a bar will come off the other 2 and go on to your weapons. So your guns will recharge quicker, but you won't be able to move as quickly, and if like your shields get hit, your shields won't recharge as quickly, and you can work them away with that round. You can also add them to your engine, so your guns won't recharge as quickly, but you'll be able to move faster and quick and reach the higher speed quicker as well. So
no, that's a cool idea.
Yeah, so I'd like that. I mean, even if it means instead of starting off with a ship that does your first ship start off with 12 slots?
It's either 12 or 15. I can't
15.
Remember.
Instead of starting off with 12 or 15 slots in that first normal section of your ship, say start off with 7 in that section and then 7 in the technology, or say 5 in the normal one, 5 in technology and 5 in cargo. And then obviously you can upgrade each one when you get a new ship or whatnot.
Who knows if they get enough feedback about like how like this new like slot inventory manager goes, maybe they'll just completely redesign the whole inventory system. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they'll do something like that.
Yeah. I really don't. I really hate the cursor in the game. You know, I hate it so much. I'd rather just have like normal menu systems where you just press down and it goes down to the next thing. It just irritates me so much. I don't know why. It just really irritates me. I just don't think like a cursor functionality works well on console.
No, it doesn't.
Because it's obviously the sticks move slower than a mouse does. So
I was just gonna say the action speed on the cursor in that game is horrible. It's so slow.
So yes, change it to normal. Just press down to go down to the next menu.
Yeah. And
open whatever. So I think we've gone through that one quite in depth then. So topic number 2 is the ships in the game. I know I've mentioned like ships personalization and stuff as a future update or whatnot, but I do want to go into it because I've started to notice. Yes, there is a variety in obviously what the ships look like. There's not like a huge, monstrous amount of variety in what they look like. They tend to look pretty much the same. If you've seen one type of ship, say like I call it the bug eye looking ship, the one with like the massive circle pod that you sit in, and then it looks like bug wings on this side and stuff. If you've seen one of those, yeah, they might have like little bits extra, so like they might have little thrusters on the side or wings, but it predominantly looks the same. And now they've had, I think they've added extra colour schemes, haven't they? And
I think so. They look a little bit different.
Yeah,
now.
and I think they've got patterns on them as well, haven't they? I've seen like some with like square patterns on them and stuff. So,
I mean, on the outside of the ship?
Yeah, on the outside of the ship. Yeah.
Some of those patterns like have been there since launch, so they've had like little like decals and stuff on the side of the ship and whatnot.
But I mean, physical appearance wise, not like a huge variety. There tends to be about 5 or 6. The main body part of the ship with the cockpit area, and then just different varieties with like wings or engines or stuff like that. So I'm fine with that at the minute. I think it'll start to get stale after this next year, and I think they'll have to add some new ships again. But I want to talk mainly about the interiors of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get into the cockpit and the windows look different depending on what ship you get into. So, like I said, the bug eye one is obviously a round cockpit. Like you get into like the fighter ships tend to be obviously like a sleeker, smaller viewer field that you have. But it's like the consoles and stuff that are inside the ship are all exactly the same.
For just about. I mean, depending on how they wrap around the cockpit, they're a little bit different. Like, but I mean, all the same information is there on all of them. So I guess you're right.
And that
have you seen any of the new ships yet? Like,
I haven't. Not in game, no.
Okay, so the bug eye one that you're talking about, like the thing I'm disappointed the most about is that the new ships, like the exotic ones or whatever, the ones that look like a big blade or whatever, they're even though the outside looks like different, the cockpit looks just like the old like bug eye one.
And this is what I'm talking about. It's
like that's so bad.
Yeah, there should be at least, because a lot of the species have their own type of ships, don't they? I mean, not they do obviously cross over into different species, some of the ships, but I tend to see a lot of the Korvax not using as many fighter ships, and a lot of the some of the others using like different other ships and things. So it's weird to see that the interiors don't represent what species is flying them as well, or at least being different to one another. Because when you look down in the cockpit and you see that, is it like there's like I can't remember exactly what they look like, but there's like that green. There's two little green pads in front of you. Are they green or are they blue? I think they've got like lines across them going like they look like they're scanning or something. But it's the same in every single ship. I'll have a picture up on the screen at the moment when I'm talking about it.
Yeah, so. I just sent you a couple pictures of the ship that I currently have, like one of the exotic ships. And honestly, man, these new ones are really cool. Like, there's a lot of moving parts. The wings fold in on themselves and stuff, so it looks like two different things opposed to flying and landing.
Yeah,
like it is actually pretty cool. Like, I really like the new ship designs.
Yeah, I'll put these pictures up for you guys to see. So yeah, it's kind of it's infuriating because it just seems lazy. It just seems like we'll just make the ships look different on the outside, but we couldn't be bothered to do anything on the inside of them.
Especially on the new ones, they really on the new ones.
Yeah. In fact, I came across my first new alien today as well in the game. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the what are they called again?
Which one? They're like almost like the Traveler ones, the Traveler people.
Yeah, the Travelers. Yeah.
If you talk to them, if they're at like a space station, or if you find them at a trading post or something like that, if you talk to them, give them 100 nanites, and then they'll show you the location of the portal glyphs.
That's how I got my first one today.
Yeah.
But I came across that species for the first time, face to face. Obviously, I've seen I've started doing like the odd mission over while I'm in my ship and stuff. So. But yeah, I'm just really annoyed. These pictures are really nice. I actually really like these pictures, guys.
Which ones?
The ones that you just sent me.
Yeah. The last one is the bottom one. It just shows like the slot layout, but it shows how the new maneuverability stat is shown on the stat page now.
Very agile.
Oh, it feels it's drives so smooth, man. You can turn on a dime in those things.
So yeah, it's kind of. Oh, let me just close these. It's kind of annoying. It just seems lazy. It just seems like they've worked.
They put so much thought on the outside of the ship, like all the moving little parts, how the wings fold in and stuff, and then all of a sudden the cockpit, they're like, screw it, we'll just use the old design.
I mean, you could say it's about this whole update. It seems very. It looks different, and it's all. Visual stuff, but then obviously with all these patches and bug fixes and stuff, it seems like they haven't concentrated on how the game's working, kind of thing.
Yeah, it does seem that way. I mean, they don't short play it though, because there is a lot of layers to this.
Oh,
update.
for sure.
Like, there's so many little new things that you can really get into, like just playing the marketplace and like how to make money through trade routes and stuff like that. I've watched a lot of videos from people, and there's some really creative people making a lot of money, like just buying and trading and buying out complete stocks of one system and going to another one, and it's
selling
really. Dude, there's like the way these people do it, man. There's no need to have any kind of farm, and they can make more money doing that than farming any day. Like, it doesn't make a difference how big your farm is. Like, these people make serious money an hour, like a lot.
Get on that grind.
Dude, there's a lot of ways. I mean, people are posting pictures on, because you can get upgrades for your gun, and you can get like flora and fauna scanners.
I've just installed them, yeah.
Dude, if you get all those grouped together, like for each animal, you get like 300k credits.
Wow.
And like, it's, if you scan the plants, I'm not sure how much it is for the plants and stuff, but I have seen animal scans over 300k.
After installing is the different versions of the fauna and flora ones?
Mm-hmm. There's different stages.
Right. Okay. I think I've got just the first the first stage of each of them then. And for the plants, because I installed them after I scanned the animals, but for the plants, I was getting like 5,775 credits per plant. So I'm not quite sure about the animals yet though, because I haven't gone to a different planet once I installed that tech though.
I mean, it really pays off to explore planets that way. I mean, you go to a planet and there's like 8 to 10 species on the planet. You can make a lot of money just finding the animals real quick and then jetting off and going to the next one, and like you can make a lot of money.
Sure. We'll have to talk about that as one as topics again in the future.
Definitely, I'd love to go more into depth of that because there's a lot of creativity.
Oh yeah, we could obviously make it like kind of like a how-to for the podcast. So, all right then. So our next topic is your topic.
Oh.
So.
Oh boy. Okay, so my topic is based off of just what I've seen so far in the lore. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat that I'm not all the way done with the new Traveler lore yet. I actually have a bug where I can't continue, so I can't finish it. So everything I'm saying could completely change based off of this, but from what I'm gathering right now, like I see, like when the ARG was coming out, everybody was like, oh, loop 15 and then 16. Everybody was like, oh, then 16 must be loop 16. And I think it was even said that at one point, but everybody's thinking that it's 16 is the new build of the game. Okay, that's what majority of people, that's what I've been...
It's code name or something.
Yeah, exactly. But after going through the story and looking at some of the abandoned, not the abandoned building, but the crash freighter lore, and just some of the new story lore, they make a lot of references to 16. And let me see. Let me try how to group this together here. I don't know if I should send you pictures and then.
Yeah, send pictures. We'll see the pictures on. I'll put them up on the screen right now.
All right. So along with 16, there's a lot of talk of an anomaly. I don't have the screenshots of where they talk about the anomaly, but not with me right now. I couldn't find. I have so many screenshots of my PlayStation to grab them off real quick. But I remember I logged on to my game one day and then I seen this picture. And I instantly got attacked, and I instantly was like, and it said, what's it say on there? Anomaly detected. Sentinels alerted. Escape.
Yeah.
So this right here, I have no idea what the hell happened. Like I literally just logged on my game, and this stuff was going on, and I was getting attacked on the ground. It was like mayhem. And I was like, okay, so there's just one reference to this anomaly so far. There's another part too. I can't remember if it's in the Crash Freighter lore, or if it's might even be an abandoned building lore too. I have to, man, I wish I had that right now. But they talk about an anomaly with the Sentinels and stuff like that. Here is another thing. Let me see. 1 second here. This is an abandoned building lore. Look at these two pictures right here. And it talks about, it said that, the one screenshot says, you'll find us when the time is right. Which means that this is something that's getting ready to happen, like, in the future. Like, there's build up to this. And then right after that text, it just is just a screen that says 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16. So, like, there's another reference to this 16. So,
yeah.
There's another, let's see, there's a lot of the Crash Freighter lore. They talk about the Sentinels. Something happens to the Sentinels, and the Sentinels, like, get into a fight with each other. And then they just, like, jet or something like that. And, here, let me see. I will send this to you. Here's another thing. I was on a planet, and I don't know what the heck I did, and it just... Oh, it's been removed. Hold on. Sorry about that.
It's alright, don't worry.
Did you get the one that said 16, 16, 16 on it?
No, that hasn't come through yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the anomaly detected, Sentinels alert, escape. That's interesting. It makes me think that maybe you are the anomaly.
Yeah, but that if that was the case, then it shouldn't have happened pretty much any time. And it's not like I was doing anything to, like, cause the Sentinels to come at me. I literally just logged into the game fresh for, like, one night, and I just, out of nowhere, I just walked out the door, and that screen popped up, and I was getting attacked. And I wasn't getting attacked before I logged off.
Right.
There was another one I sent you, too, where it says 16, 16, 16, Atlas Protocol initiated, 16,
that's
16,
just
16.
Yeah.
So, I'm just trying to find the right crash ship. Here's the lore from the crash ship about the Sentinels. Hold on. The Sentinels attacking each other.
Right. So this could be like what I theorized before the update dropped about an invading force. What was going to come through the portals, maybe, but obviously without going through the portals part. This 1616 part.
And there's I just sent you two more pictures of the Crash Freighter lore where they talk about how there was a distress signal after the Sentinels were attacking each other, and it was broadcasting 16 on repeat. And it's just, there's something else going on here. Like, it's just not, the 16 just doesn't mean just this patch with loop 16 or whatever. Like, just I don't know. There's something else going on there. There's even reference to it when you start the Artemis storyline.
Yeah.
there's I just sent you that picture too, where it talks about there were 16 of them, and they look just like whatever, So there's something deeper going on with 16. Like, it's not just this build of the game. There's going to be in the story somewhere. So we're going to find out why the 16 is here. Why is this? The 16 seems like it's really evil, malevolent force in the galaxy. Like, there's something going on there. Whether it's a really bad version of the Atlas somehow, or it's I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I was like everybody else, and I was convinced like, oh, this 16 just means that it's like it's the new build of the game or whatever, because it just fit kind of way the way ARG was kind of playing now or whatever. But I don't know. I just don't. I'm not buying it. If you follow the guy that wrote he's a really cool guy actually. If you follow him, who wrote the new lore for the game for this version.
Mm-hmm.
I follow him on Twitter, and he's really active on Twitter. You can talk to him, and he'll talk back to you and whatnot. He posted a screenshot of something, and all he put at the top of it was like 16. So he knows like what's in the story and what potentially is probably coming up.
How many of the Atlas stones do you need to get to open up like a new galaxy again? Is it 8?
See, now here's the thing. There's 16 slots. There's 8 on the top and 8 on the bottom. I have not seen a set of portal combination glyph or whatever higher than 12.
Right.
I think 12 has been the maximum. I have not seen one screenshot yet of anybody posting more than 12. Like, what do those last 4 do? Is that a way to dial in what galaxy? Like, because I can travel to different galaxies.
Yeah.
Is that a way to travel to a different galaxy or what? I don't know what that's all about yet.
Oh, it's so confusing.
Until I see somebody post a set of screenshots with a portal combination higher than 12. I mean, I'm always going to be thinking something different. Because I've seen tons.
If that's the case, if that's the case, maybe. I mean, this is only speculation, but if that's the case, then could that only mean there's going to be 4 or 5 galaxies in the game?
No, but just think how many different combinations you can come up with for those 4 numbers.
I was just thinking that, or maybe do all the current combinations have like the same last ruin or not ruin? Or what they're called?
Oh, the glyph.
Yeah, the glyphs. Do they all have the same last glyph? Maybe that's the first.
I don't think so. I mean, I've seen a lot of portal. I've seen portal glyphs from the outside edge of the galaxy, and I've seen portal glyphs combinations from the center.
Yeah.
And they've always been 12 glyphs, and they've always been a certain different combination. I haven't really seen like a pattern to ones always end up in this spot opposed to the other ones or anything like that. I think it's pretty random somehow, but. I haven't seen more than 12, and there's 16 slots that you could potentially fill up. So,
interesting. Let's stick this as fan theory at the moment.
I mean,
until you've gotten like a lot further, obviously get past this bug.
Like I said, I really didn't do like that good of a job explaining like my theory about the 16 and stuff like that. Like. You really have to just follow the lore, and they put that number in so many different places, and I had those 2 instances happen, like those weird things happen, especially outside my base, like anomaly detected, sentinels alerted, escape. Like, is that telling me to escape? Is that telling the sentinels to escape? Is that telling a different race to escape? Like, who is that directed to? And I just don't know. There's a lot of weird things going on with
16.
Another thing too is that I'm not sure if you've seen it either, but you know how there's new planets, exotic planets.
Yeah, like with the spinning, floating stuff and all sorts.
Now, so here is I want to send you a sequence of Crash Freighter pictures, and this one actually specifically talks about, and it says that reality itself is advocated here. Vast hexagons litter the landscape of this once proud planet, now become to the plaything of our unseen foe. Because there's new planets now that are popping up that are all hexagons, and they're actually saying that there's a foe out there, changing the planets to make them look like that. So like that's huge in itself right there. I mean,
that's obviously a show of an enemy.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally changing the planet's surface here. I'm sending that to you right now so you can see that.
Wasn't a hexagon used? A hexagon was used for the Waking Titan, though, wasn't it?
It's used for Waking Titan. It's used on the opening of the Atlas door. It's used on the landing pads. It's used in a lot of places. Like on the space station, like the platforms you sit on are like hexagons, I think. So here it is. Like now we have planets that are getting literally changed from, like it says here, once a proud planet to a planet filled with hexagons. And it's becoming the plaything of our unseen foe. Like there's something out there that we don't know. It says 16. I'm telling you, that's why this 16 is way more. It means way more than people think. This is going to be part of the lore. It's a story. Maybe there's like 16 rulers that are going around like doing this, or you know what I'm saying, or like a coalition of like 16 nations or something like that, or 16. Who knows?
Do you remember? I think it was either prior to release of the game or it was just after the release of the game, when it was inside the Atlas station, and there's a picture where there's 3 people floating in the air behind the Atlas.
Yep.
Maybe it's them.
No, because if you look at the shadows, there's one clearly that's a Korvax, one's a Gek, and one's a...
Yeah, but it did say in one of the previous pictures that you just sent me that they look just like...
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true.
So maybe they're like... Maybe they're not obviously actual Korvax or whatever. They're like... creations that have been made to look that way.
I'm telling you guys, the lore is good in this game, and they're explaining what's going to happen. I have a feeling in the next couple updates, like something something like evil is happening, which is what this game needs, because there's not really like an evil presence as this game. Like everybody's kind of chill and happy, and no one's messing with nobody. Like this game needs an enemy. Like it needs a I don't know. It just needs something like that.
Yeah. That is very interesting. I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on 16. What or who it could be. So make sure you leave a comment down in that comment section. That section that is there for comments. Okay, so we've got a topic suggestion in from a viewer by the name of Michael. Shout out to Michael. He commented on the Facebook post of the last podcast. He wants to talk about current communities in game, not just the external communities like on Twitter and Facebook and Reddit, and obviously the future of these communities when a fully fledged multiplayer is added into the game. I think obviously the biggest in-game kind of community is probably Galactic Hub.
The hub.
The hub, which is a singular planet, isn't it? Is it at the center, or is it?
Well, I mean, here's the dicey thing with the hub. Okay, so like the hub was on the outside of the galaxy when it was first originated, but ever since the planets changed, like they wanted to change the location of the hub. Like I don't know personally where the hub has moved to. I don't even know if they've even chosen a place yet.
Right.
But that's one thing. Like there was a big community event where everybody was trying to make it to the hub and see each other.
Prior to Atlas Riser's update.
It was on the outside edge.
Yeah, it was on the outside edge. It's basically where people have made it all the way to this singular planet, built their bases on there, left messages for everyone, like around. Did they leave them? Like they left them obviously at their bases, and did they leave them at portals as well?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
just they were littered all over the place. Around
Yeah.
there. People were like the hub started off as one planet, but then as people started to come, they claimed galaxies or they claimed systems, and you know what I'm saying. And it just grew. Like now, like the hub, like there's a huge part of that old hub that's still there.
Yeah. So obviously, currently in the game's current state, there isn't, or at least before 1.3 update, there wasn't obviously an actual multiplayer in the game. It was just viewing people's bases and interacting with messages, really, wasn't it? It was kind of like Reddit.
Yeah,
just interacting with people
kind of
via messages.
Just not as toxic.
Yeah. So now, obviously, with the added glowing orb multiplayer function into the game, you can obviously go around with 16 people in your group, viewing stuff like your bases together, obviously individual planets and stuff like that. So what kind of effect do you think this will have on places like the hub and stuff like that?
I mean, you know, the hub is going to be the hub. It's going to be there. It's like the trendy thing. Everybody wants to go to the hub. Like, you know, like leave your mark so everybody else can potentially see it and this and that. Like, that's cool. I like the idea of the hub. It's cool. Like, I really do. I was actually on my way there before the update happened, and now I found out it's moving, so we'll see what happens with that. I know that there's a slight underground movement right now building. It's building as we speak, man, and it's a group that's if there's ever PvP in this game, like they're going to take over the hub.
God's
and they're gonna take over as much as they can. Like it's gonna be like just it's crazy. Like, dude, they're building. They have a system right now, and it's literally just everybody's going there, and they're building like humongous farms, and so everybody can go there to get money to buy whatever ship they need to get, and buy whatever full slot freighter you need to get all your technology ready. So like when the moment comes and there's PvP, like everybody's just
let's ruin it for everybody
right away. Well, I mean, like it's you say it's ruining, but I mean, like I said, there is no evil presence in this galaxy. So I mean,
well,
seems fitting like something
maybe
like
not
this
an
would
evil
happen.
presence, but there is obviously a police presence in the galaxy.
Yeah,
and this works the same with Elite Dangerous, where there's a bounty system. So if you attack anyone, you'll get a bounty on you. If you try to enter any star bases or anything while you got this bounty on you, you will get attacked and stuff. So maybe if they do end up obviously adding a fully fledged multiplayer and PvP is a part of that, adding a bounty system to actual people in game attacking other players is a good way at least to stop doing that, because obviously other games such as Ark, where people will literally hang around the spawn area to kill new players coming into the game. That's what they'll do. I mean, obviously you can't do that on No Man's Sky because everyone spawns on a random planet. But if people are going to be prepared to that extent.
Oh, it's happening. Like I said,
Yeah.
It's a movement, man. Like it's underground and it's freaking in full swing as we speak.
But
So, I'm not sure if even I shouldn't even say who it is because I don't want to ruin his plans. But I mean, by this point, he's out on YouTube anyways doing this shit. So I mean, he can't get much more public than that. But
No.
Serious Gamer X is like the Gek Emperor, and like
Oh,
he's
for
like.
God's sake.
And he has planets like where there's portals open, and he's already calling them like his spawning pools, and like he gives people that want to join the Empire like the coordinates, and then you go there and you can just vast in the riches of all the freaking humongous farms that you could ever think of, and then you just get so much money, and then your goal is if there's PvP, it's going down. Like it's going down for real, and they're taking the hub, and they're taking the center, and they're taking whatever comes up against them. It's huge, dude. It's huge. It's a huge thing. It's crazy.
It's unfair though. It's unfair because obviously players who don't get to play it on a regular schedule obviously come in to play it casually, and then they're just going to get fucked over by these players who think that who
How's that any different than Ark? I mean, how's that any different?
Yeah, but I don't play
any
it because of that. So
yeah, I mean, I guess that's true. But, I mean, the good thing with that is in this right here, Ark is just a small map. You're in a humongous galaxy where there's 18 quintillion planets. The odds of them finding your small little spot in a pinpoint, unless you give your coordinates away, it's almost impossible for them to find you. So your gameplay won't be affected. It's like the high priority places like the Hub and the Pilgrim Star and.
Well, that's me. If you wanted to go to the Hub to see it, and then obviously with the Hub, with it being obviously expanding to more than just one planet now, it's obviously several systems and stuff. Obviously, the closer that you get to the Hub, the busier it's going to be around that area. And obviously, the closer you get to the centre of the Hub, it's obviously going to be absolutely rammed full of people. And if you decided, I want to go see the Hub, see what it's like there, and then you get there, and then you just get absolutely obliterated as soon as you warp it into the game.
I can tell you this. I mean, it won't be by the people that are at the Hub because they're all about just getting together and exploring and stuff together.
Yeah.
Like they have
well, that's
no
what I mean.
clue what would happen.
If they're planning on taking over the Hub, then
it will happen if there's PvP. Like that's
that's what I mean. Obviously, if PvP gets introduced, they take over the Hub. Then there's not going to be people there just to explore, is there?
No, they're there just to take over.
Exactly, and that's why I think Elite has the upper hand on No Man's Sky, as they have 3 game modes. They have an offline mode where it's just you, and that's it. There's obviously NPCs in the game. They have an online mode where it's NPCs and everyone else, but then they also have like closed, like a closed server for you and your friends. So I think they need to introduce that into the game, because obviously if you do want to just go adventuring with your friends, you can just go into that closed, like the closed server kind of thing. And then on Elite Dangerous, it's the same scale of the game in each of these 3 modes.
Right.
So no matter where you go, it's exactly the same as it is in, because your save goes through all 3 of those. So if you save it in, say, online mode with everyone, if you saved at a certain space station, you go to closed multiplayer or even single player mode, you will load back up in that same place that you just left.
Right. No, I mean, I get it. It's just, I think No Man's Sky is bigger than Elite Dangerous. I mean, I'm not sure.
Game size, yeah.
So, I mean, there's just, like I said, if you don't want that type of gameplay, then you can go out and yourself on your own and do your own path. And odds are, unless you go to a high priority place, that's the only time that you're going to have maybe an issue where something bad could happen. But on itself, I mean, like, the game can be its own single player. I mean,
sure.
You can be lost if you want to. Like, don't give your coordinates away. I
still think that the whole having a bounty system. I mean, there is currently a bounty system, isn't there? If you attack like a freighter, you do get a bounty. Obviously,
there's no player versus player bounties. So,
no,
like, I can't give another player.
But obviously,
bounty another player.
Even the Sentinel ships come after you, though, won't they? So
yeah.
That should be implemented into PvP. So obviously, if you attack someone who hasn't attacked you, you should get a bounty on you. And even if it's PvP where players can claim that bounty on you, or if it's just the Sentinels that come after you, I think that should be included into the game, because that's just saying like it's a risk, isn't it? If you decide to attack another player, it should be a risk factor. Or if I attack this person, I may get like all their loot or whatever, but I'm running the risk of getting the Sentinels to attack me. So is it worth it? Whereas obviously if you didn't have that kind of system, it would just be everyone with the best ships and the strongest weapons just attacking anyone because they're assholes. It's true though, isn't it?
No, dude, and I'm telling you, that's why I'm telling you this right now. Like, it's building up as we speak. So, like, what we're talking about, people are literally getting geared up right now.
Yeah.
They're getting the best ships they can, the highest slot freighters that they can, all their multi-tools. They're getting like just as much money as they can put their hands on to get whatever they want. And then when that day comes, like, they're be like a thief in the night, dude. Like, they're gonna come and they're just gonna pillage.
Yeah, and there's just going to be some guy who's just bought the game for, this game's kind of cool, I'll buy it, and then he just realizes it's just like, okay, and then they'll put it down again.
Yo, I mean, like I said, like, they're not just going like, he's not going to bring in like his whole force of, if this even happens, we're saying a theoretical right now. This is a what if, but like, yeah, he's not going around just going after just some random spot. Like, he's going after the hub. Like, if you're a new player, you're not spawning in at the hub.
Oh, no, but if you think about it like this, though, when they take over the hub, then what? They're obviously going to take over somewhere else, and they're just going to keep expanding and expanding. Yeah, obviously there's not going to be enough players in the game ever to take over the whole galaxy.
Yeah, there's not going to be. That's the thing. There's not going to be enough.
So, but if you think about it, even if he has 100 people, let's say if they introduce factions into the game, if he makes a faction, you can have 100 members in your faction. It takes maybe a day to go through each system, 2 days maybe. Obviously, to go in and explore, not fully explore each planet, but go in, land on the planet, claim it, and then just do general stuff on each planet that they would normally do, not like fully explore each planet. A day maybe to do each system. So that's 100 systems a day if every single player in that does it, and then the next day 100, another 200. So that's 200 systems in 2 days. Sorry. And then if you keep doing that, after 10 days, that's 1,000 systems.
That's still a drop in the bucket compared to 18 quintillion.
Oh yeah, but if you keep going and going, I mean, if you played it for, if every single player in that team played it for a whole year, that's 365,000 systems.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a small number compared to the total, though. Like, I know it's a lot. It seems like a lot, but like, dude, like, there's.
Yeah, but another thing is, they won't be randomly spaced out, though, would they? Because if everyone went to the hub, like, to attack it, then they'll start spreading out in a circle. It wouldn't be just in the same direction, or it wouldn't be just spit and spattered here and there. Do you know what I mean?
The hub is in trouble if PvP comes. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, for sure. But I definitely think they should add like the bounty system in, or a policing system into the PvP part.
And like I said, I've never been to the hub, either the old one or the new one. But I tell you what, man, when the time is right, I'll make my way to the hub. Trust me.
I'm just gonna stay away from there. Never ever. I'm just gonna go to a different galaxy where no one else has been, and just stay there instead.
I'll be there first day when that happens.
So yeah, like factions and stuff. So obviously one's like physical multiplayer is in there, so it's not just glowing orbs. Do you reckon they'll still stick to like 16 players in an instance, or do you reckon at some point it'll be?
No, I mean, for now, I think that's pretty good, and I think what will happen is that if there's more than 16 people, then they'll probably get switched out, or they'll be different. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Maybe like they'll do like little clusters and stuff like that, or I don't know. But I mean, 16 right now is pretty reasonable. I mean, I'm just wondering when is it gonna get to the point where they're gonna start charging us for PSN. I mean, because it's going to get to a point where you can start interacting with people and you can see the actual person. Like, when's that line going to get crossed when it has to be charged for under that PSN monthly online service?
I think generally, I think most people have PSN these days.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that don't. I mean, like one of my friends, like he has No Man's Sky, but he doesn't have PSN. He just has a PlayStation, so his kids can play, and he can play some single player games and shit. He doesn't get PSN all the time.
Yeah, I think because they said that it's going to be free to play online with your friends. I think they can't go back on that, because if they went back on that, and then because it's inevitable that they'll either add in paid some form of paid DLC, even if it's just microtransactions for like skins or whatnot. I think then saying, oh, you have to, because PS Plus goes up in price now. I think it's like, it used to be £40 for the year. I think it's now £45.
It's going up a little bit.
Yeah, and it's just going to keep going up, though, isn't it? It's never going to just stay at. I mean, the entire PS3 era, online multiplayer was free.
Yeah, and look what happened.
Yeah,
they had a massive credit card breach.
Yeah, well, the PlayStation always have credit card problems. I mean, I know in the PlayStation 4 era it's had it at least 4 times already, where they've had breaches of security. And that's only been out for 3 or 4 years now. The PS4, 3 or 4 years. One of the two.
It's been at least 3 years, probably close.
Yeah, so it might be 4 this November. Sorry about that. So I mean that's just once a year, and I think at one point there was 2 or 3, 2 years ago in like the space of 2 or 3 months. So it's I mean, don't forget though as well, it's not like the people who commit this crimes aren't improving the methods that they're doing it either. So it's just a matter of obviously staying on top and defending against what happens to you at that moment, and then it's just evolution. But yeah, like I said though, don't forget as well in the PS3 era, the PS3 to begin with was losing out to the Xbox 360. Eventually, obviously, PS3 recovered and ended up, I think, selling more versions of the PS3 than the Xbox 360 did because of obviously their multiplayer being free. But then obviously because of how well Xbox 360 sold to begin with, that's why the Xbox One was massively overpriced when they announced the pricing of it, whereas the PS4 was a lot cheap. Well, not a lot cheaper, but it was much cheaper than the Xbox One was. But because of how well the PS4 has sold in its lifetime, they've obviously increased the prices of like the PS Plus.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm okay with that. I have no problem doing the PSN.
Well, that's what I mean though. Obviously, if you bought the game and obviously when it first came out, it said, "Oh, you wouldn't have to pay. You wouldn't need for PS Plus to pay it." And then if you're going to be a new game, you think, "Oh, we get No Man's Sky. Oh, I've got to buy the game, which is going to be whatever $40, £40, whatever it's going to be at that time," and then find out, oh, now I've also got to buy PS Plus as well to play it.
Dude, at least you can play this game offline if you wanted to. Like
now you can.
If this was, I could play offline on my PlayStation on No Man's Sky as much as I wanted to. If it's a single player game, I could play offline all the time. I had no problem.
But that's what I mean, though. Obviously, if they decide to just do a fully fledged multiplayer and only have a multiplayer option of the game.
It's
like trying to play Destiny offline, or at least in a single player mode. You're kind of limited to just the vanilla story, aren't you?
See, I mean, I play Ark. Like in an Ark, you can choose to play all the maps offline or all the maps online. But you need PSN, I think, to play online. So I mean, I can actually play all the stuff that's online stuff by myself offline. Yeah. So like that's cool.
Yeah, but then you've also got games like the first is it Battlefield, the Star Wars one? Is Star Wars Battlefield one? No, you know, like the massive Battlefront. Yeah, I always get them mixed up, Battlefield and Battlefront. But the Star Wars one, I think the first one, Battlefront one, was it didn't have a single player mode in it, did it?
I don't remember. No, not the first one. No, the second one's going to have one.
If you wanted to play Battlefront, you had to have PS Plus.
Dude, I guess the point I was trying to make is that, like, be lucky that you even have that option to play offline on your PSN.
But that's what I mean. That's right. That's right now, though, isn't it?
On Xbox, it doesn't make a difference if the game is offline or even has an online multiplayer or whatever. You need a Microsoft subscription to even sign into that game to play a single player game offline.
Do you actually need a subscription? I thought you just needed an account.
Dude, I was just talking. My friend is a huge Xbox player. Me and him get together and we go back and forth on Xbox and PlayStation all the time. And I was asking him, I was like, because he was telling me, he's like, dude, I can't even play this game, even though it's a single player game. I can't play it because I don't have my Xbox Live right now. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, you can't play a single player game because you have to sign into Xbox Lives through your account to link the game to your account. And he said, yeah, that's the way it works. Maybe if it was just for that game, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he said it for pretty much everything. Like, you have to be signed into Xbox Live account to play a lot of games, and even a lot of single-player games.
I think you probably have to be signed into your account. I doubt you have to...
You shouldn't have to be. You should be able just to put the game in and just freaking, play.
No, I mean, I think, like, when you log in, like, when you switch your PS4 on and you have your your profiles and your accounts kind of thing. I think you have to have an account to actually play it. I don't think you can just play it without having an account. But
that part is right. But I'm telling you, Xbox is different than PlayStation from that regard. Like, they make you, for a lot of games, you have to have Xbox Live, even if you're trying to play a single player.
It might have been a game that he downloaded off, like the Xbox Live games for gold. Because if you let your games for gold, and same with the PS Plus, if you download a game off like the free games each month, like you get on Games for Gold and PS Plus, if you let your yearly or whatever monthly subscription run out, those games become locked and you cannot play them until you've because obviously you haven't paid for the. I mean, obviously you paid for the games through the subscription, but obviously you haven't paid full out for the individual game, have you? So until you renew your subscription.
Maybe I should just stop talking about this because I'm not an Xbox player. I'm just here from my friend's point of view.
But I mean,
it's exaggerating or whatever.
It's the same on the PlayStation. I've got I got Rocket League when it was free on PlayStation Plus when it first got released. I don't have PS Plus anymore at the moment because I just never played any games online like friends. But I can't play Rocket League at the moment because I haven't renewed my subscription after it ran out. But when I do renew it, I'll be able to play it again.
Like, let's put it this way. Like, I know on PlayStation, if I don't have PSN, I can go and I can unhook my PlayStation from the Ethernet. I can play Ark single player without having to have either PSN or be connected to the internet.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do that on Xbox. I could be wrong, but I just don't think it works that way.
I'll have to have a look because mine's through Wi-Fi. Let me think. Go on, sorry.
I'll say one more thing before we get off the topic of the community parts. There's a couple things I'd like just to have people just look into, especially one on Twitter, and that is it's No Man's Sky Quest, and it's MNSQ West, and he spells it weird, but it's awesome because he holds like weekly contests for photos. So if you like taking photos and everything like that, it's a great place to go and take photos. And then they pick a winner every single week, and he picks different types of topics every week. It's really cool.
Oh,
so that's a great community to get into on Twitter, especially if you like taking screenshots of this game. Go and check that out, and you'll have so much fun.
I'll put the link down in the description then.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Back onto the topic. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if they decide to go just full on multiplayer though for the game, and then they decide that you require PS Plus to play multiplayer, if they remove the kind of single player aspect and say it's only multiplayer, obviously then you need to have a PS Plus subscription, which is obviously another £45 on top of if you're new to the game and buying the game as well. And you don't have PS Plus, so you've obviously got to fork out like the $80 to $90 just to play it. But obviously that's if they decide to get rid of like the single player aspect of the game.
Right. I hate having to pay for online. I hate paying for subscriptions for games. I hate because I on computer games you play subscriptions a lot. I hate that. Yeah. I hate playing. I hate having to pay twice almost to play a game and you have to pay for the online and stuff like that. Makes me so mad.
What annoys me the most is games like FIFA. Even though I'm a huge FIFA fan, it's the fact that I'm having to pay annually for the same game. I mean, some people play FIFA just for the online part, like what do you call it, FIFA Ultimate Team. But then some players only play FIFA just to play like the single player, like the manager mode and career mode and stuff like that. I think they should just for these annual games, they should just bring out 2 versions of the game. One being just they should bring out 3 versions. So one being just the online mode, one being just like the offline mode, or like a full pack including both of them. If you play both of them, just because, I mean, I'll be paying like £55 for FIFA 18 this year, and I'll probably spend maybe 6 hours out of the whole next 365 days, maybe playing multiplayer mode. But that's it. And I'll play single player for the rest of the year, just because I don't enjoy playing online in FIFA. So, but yeah, that's a debate for something else.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right, so that is the end of the show, guys. Thank you for joining us. It's been a good one. It's been full of discussion, full of interesting fan theory. Not fan theory, but theories onto what 16 is and who 16 could be, or what it could be. The future, obviously, communities within the game, with the evil empire that's beginning to arise. We need the rebels to arise as well now.
Hey man, one to rule them all.
Oh, God, Lord of the Bloody Rings. It's just been a very good day. So, thank you for joining us. Remember, guys, we are on iTunes. The link will be down in the description below. Make sure you leave a review and a comment on iTunes for there. I'm sorry I can't get the podcast onto the Play Store at the moment. I tried to upload it to the page, and when I click on the page, it just says I'm not able to in my country right now, because the UK is obviously a third world country. So yeah, and also make sure you leave a like and a comment on this video if you're watching this on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe as well if you do want to see more No Man's Sky podcasts. This is the Galactic Explorers Podcast. This has been episode 29. I have been your host, Ash. This has been Jeff. And we shall see you later, guys.